I don't know. But I do know that I had been in denial. I thought maybe my symptoms and the 10 pounds that came with them were simply aging or my hormones. Yes, it's true that our body doesn't quite bounce back the way it does when we're younger. But I know from myself and the many clients I've worked with that we can be at the top of our game at any point in our lives. Those of us who don't experience pain as we age are typically using our body in a functional way. This means our body works as a unit, without imbalances or weak links. Our core, that whole middle section, and our body move how they are supposed to. With my abs and strong-looking core appearing on multiple magazine covers, I always considered myself one of those people. But somewhere along the way, I started to ignore pain's warning signs. I was pushing myself in ways that weren't serving me anymore. I knew that I needed to spend more time on my warm-ups and doing the right moves to keep my body in balance, stretching out my hip flexors, firing my glutes, and keeping the muscles I couldn't see, the stabilizer muscles, strong, so they could continue to do their job of supporting the muscles I could see. Looking back, I believe that my six-pack abs were a false sense of security for some of the deeper issues I had going on with my body. I knew that I needed more rest and time between travel and working out, and I needed to put off effort into staying hydrated and properly nourished. If I were consulting with a client, I would have told her not to wear heels all the time, that being fashionable was outweighing functional and smart for her. After the surgery, I did some soul-searching, but not before wondering whether my career was over. The workout wasn't the cause of the ruptured disc. Not taking care of my body and not doing what I knew to do was the cause. I had so many limiting beliefs, what I call self-imposed stops, that I believed I was doomed. My business went downhill and my relationships started to crumble. My stress level was getting out of control and it seemed as if everything was going horribly wrong. How could this have happened to me? Should I even be teaching fitness anymore? I wondered. How could I call myself a fitness expert and do something so stupid? Maybe age really is an issue. Maybe I'm not good enough to be doing what I do. But soon enough I caught myself, and instead of turning to excuses, instead of hitting rock bottom again, I delved deeper. I learned that if I had honed in on an anti-inflammatory diet and focused on corrective circuits and workouts, I could have taken the disc out of the equation, and all that came after might not have happened. And most important, I learned that changing my state of mind could serve me powerfully and help me avoid this happening again. This newfound knowledge became a new reset for my life and my career, and the inspiration for this book. I became committed to helping others avoid the mistakes I made. Looking back, about 2 decades ago, I had been diagnosed with celiac disease, a condition in which a person is unable to digest gluten. This was before everyone started talking about gluten intolerance and it became popular to be on a gluten-free diet. So I had to do a lot of research and figure out what to do for myself. To cut out the gluten, I had to eliminate most processed foods. But as awareness and technology advanced, more and more gluten-free replacement foods, such as pizza, bread, and cookies, were becoming available, and convenience won out. Why? Because at the time, my life was spiraling out of control. I was a new mom, recently divorced, working too much, and suffering the effects of an economic downturn. I became depressed and gained 60 pounds. My diet was built around gluten-free processed carbs and grains. Corn, oatmeal, cheese, mashed potatoes, and ice cream were staples in my diet. Something had to change so I could get my life back, and I knew what I had to do. I remembered what I talked about with my Fortune 500 clients, creating a vision, declaring an intention, setting goals, and eliminating self-imposed stops. I had to go back to the vision board and set new goals. I had to decide that I was ready to shift again and that failure would not be an option. And most of all, I had to unprocess my diet again. Long story short, it worked. I turned my problems into opportunities.